Good morning and welcome to one of your favorite YouTube channel, Study Time. This is MM Alam and today we are going to begin a new poem and the name of the poem is Fire and Ice, which has been composed by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet. He was born on 26th of March 1874 in San Francisco, United States. And he died on 29th of January 1963 in Boston, United States. Some of his notable works are The Road Not Taken, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening, The Dust of Snow, and many more. He has been awarded a number of prizes including Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. Now, before beginning this poem, I would like to briefly introduce you the subject of the poem. In this poem, Robert Frost expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of two ways, either by fire or ice. Both the components are compared with self destructing human emotions, that is, hatred and desire. The poem very artistically underpins the philosophy that we let our emotions rule us, and if we don't control them, they will surely destroy everything around us. Similarly, he thinks fire and ice both are just as competent in bringing the world to a catastrophic end. Now, let us begin this poem. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Now, see, desire. Desire here means a strong feeling of wanting to have something. A strong feeling of wanting to have something. And favor. Favor here means approval or support. So, here in the first stanza, the poet expresses the idea that the world would end in either of two ways, as I have said earlier, that is, either by fire or ice. One group is of the opinion that someday the earth's core will get so heated up that it would lead to fire destroying the earth's surface. On the other hand, the second group says that if the temperature goes down to an extent that makes life on earth impossible, it would have the same catastrophic effect. The poet then compares fire and ice with the destructive features of human emotions, desire and hatred. He says that from what he is aware about fiery desires, he would favor the one who says that it would be fire. By saying so, he brings about the idea that human beings let their emotions rule them, and the consequence of unmonitored longing is chaos. Now, let us go to the second stanza. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough to hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Now, see, in the second stanza, we can see perish. Perish means to die, and we can see here suffice. Suffice means to be sufficient. Both the meanings are given here in the glossary. So, in the second stanza, the poet says that he considers if the world has to expire twice, ice would be equally competent in ending it. He brings about a contrast between ice and hatred. The human capability of insensitivity and hatred has the potential for inner destruction. Though slow and steady, it has the same effect that desire has on us. So, if given an option between fire and ice would be just as good as fire to destroy the world. Now, let us see the rhyming scheme. In the first stanza, we can see fire, the last word, desire, fire. Only ice is not rhyming. So, if we assign the first line as A and second line as B because second line is not rhyming. Now fire, desire and fire both are rhyming, all the three are rhyming, so all the three will have the same alphabet. So the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is A B A. Now let us go to the second stanza. We can see twice, ice, suffice and hate, great. If twice is assigned as A, hate is assigned as B. Now ice is assigned as again twice ice A, great, hate B, and suffice we will pronounce it as suffice so that it can rhyme. So ice, suffice, so it is again A. So the rhyme scheme of the second stanza is A B A B A. Now my dear students, now let us see some of the poetic devices used. So before I begin the poetic devices, let us get ready so that it will become easier for me to make you understand what the poetic devices have been used here in this poem. Now see, we can see I hold with those. In this one you will find O sound has been repeated. So this is an example of alliteration. This is an example of alliteration. To be more precise, it is assonance. Assonance. Now we can see here favor, fire, world, will. So W sound has been repeated here, F sound has been repeated here. So this is a consonance. It is also an example of alliteration, but to be more precise, it is consonance. Now we can see here there are some more. For example, we can see some say. When we find such words or phrases which are being used in two or more sentences in the beginning, then there the poetic device used is anaphora. Now we can say fire and ice. Here the poet has used fire and ice, both of them, as a personification. I have said about this one in my earlier video, that here the poet is using fire and ice by giving them mind and power to destroy anything. So here the poet has personified fire and ice. And the last poetic device which I want to say you is enjambment. Jambment. This is very simple to understand. Enjambment means when any line is not ending with a punctuation mark, whether it is a full stop or a comma or an question mark or an exclamatory mark, then there the poetic device used is anaphora. So I hope you have understood this poem, and if you haven't subscribed this channel yet, kindly subscribe and press the bell icon so that you can get further updates. Thank you.